What up traders, what up investors, Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and we got a fantastic bit today. We're going to be looking at an article comparing the completely chaotic, completely skyrocketing use case for Zoom communications, also known as ZM ticker, comparing to the top airlines. That's Southwest, Delta, United, American, Lufthansa even, on the sense of its market cap is nearly equivalent to all those businesses we just talked about. But again, this is just talking about market cap. This doesn't mean they're actually making that much money in the sense of what they're bringing in on revenues. It's all about market cap due to the escalating of its stock price. As you can see here, we're going to swing over this over here. Whoosha! Like that sound effect. I'll link this down in the description below. This is basically a really good article, really simple to read. I love the charts and everything behind this, so it's very eye-pleasing and a lot of candy in it for me. So Zoom basically is the Zoom boom, or the Zoom takeover basically has just been gone skyrocketing. And so in this lovely little chart here, we can see here how big the market cap is, around 40, let's call it 49 billion. This is equivalent to all these companies like we mentioned before. The totaling of these airlines is 46 right here. And then on the lower half of the chart, you see that the Zoom daily meeting participants, and that's in millions. So in late 2019, it was 10 million people. Then in March, it was 200. Okay, that's a huge jump. Ridiculous. And then from 200 to 300 in April. We haven't got the numbers for May. They do have a earnings call in about 2 weeks on the 2nd of June. So it's going to be very exciting to see what happens there. More to the perspective of this, the global trend of staying at home, working remote, being able to do a lot of the things that you thought you could never do, but being able to do it via the Zoom. So Zoom, again, as a lot of people don't know, is a way to share your screen, to do video conferencing with other folks in different states or different parts of the country or whatever, so you don't have to leave your house. That being said, this is the Google trend right here. So this is, again, a very lovely tool we use here at Dyslexic Investor in the sense of trying to see on what people are searching or looking for. And you kind of see it kind of peaked out in a little bit at the mid of March due to the overall low with the pandemic and stay-at-home stuff. That being said, we can go look further down here looking at the performance. Again, this is going to be a little lackluster. Again, this is the stock performance. You can see here with kind of some timelines here, World Health Organization stuff, major airlines, about their capacity levels. But you can basically see here the switch basically happened at the end of February, beginning of March, where the airlines just all took a dump here and just continue crushing down. Most of these airlines are well below 70% in most cases, being absolutely annihilated at the same time. The reversal of, hey, I don't have to travel. I can just stay home with my suit on and my gym shorts on and do the same meeting that I thought I could have done by traveling there. I don't think this is going to be completely changing all this, but I think there has been a slight switch in the market. And we did do a video last week, I believe, on looking at the head and shoulders pattern in Zoom, but it's kind of gone out the window due to the fact of the market keeps on rising for them. So this is just a sad thing. We also did a video on the decline of everything. You can basically see here on Southwest, but again, this is directly tied to their stock price. You can just see the really bad declines here from their market cap at the beginning of the year to basically May 15th. Basically, majority of them cut by 50 to 70%. Very sad. That being said, and then the overall total returns, again, United being up there with a lot of like American, and we'll look at some of these charts moving forward. So what does the future hold in the sense of this article discussing the circumstances? They're saying that even with the Zoom bombing, with the hackers getting into meetings that are unofficially invited by doing inappropriate things, saying things, whatever, I think that if Zoom, ZM, looking at the fundamentals, can continue to hold a percentage of the market share, it's just gotten so much percentage of the market share. It's just gotten so much love from so many different companies. It's like an ongoing thing. It's like, oh, let me Google it. It's like, oh, let's do a Zoom meeting. Like it's ingrained in the culture right now. It's just Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. It's like Google, Google, Google. There's a lot of other platforms that kind of do the same thing. Verizon just bought Blue Jeans a ways back. We also talked about GoToMeeting is the same exact kind of competitor of it. People really do love Zoom due to the ease of access and the simplicity behind being able to do these various meetings. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump to the charts, and we'll look at some of the airline stocks and then some of Zoom, and then looking for predictions on the sense of what could happen for worst case and best case scenarios for both sectors. All right, guys, let's go. All right, we just took the very long walk to the charts, aka just closing one window and opening the other. All right, so let's go ahead and look at Zoom Communication again. This is ZM, not ZOOM. That was the ticker symbol that got the wrong people to invest in it, and it was a completely different technology, and it just went skyrocketing. I think it went pretty much, I think it's not even, you can't even trade it, I don't think, right? It was literally Zoom, ZZOOM. Yeah. So you can kind of see here, if you're not intelligent and you're not looking at what you're trading and you just go straight out this one, this has been a return of a lifetime for some folks there. I'm pretty sure some executives were absolutely crazy there. Anyways, sidetracking again, I kind of ramble on about things. Kind of keep me focused, guys. All right, keep me focused, please. All right, ZM. Looking at this, we can see here, basically the switch was turned on. Again, we talked about this at the beginning of February, had a nice spike up, but since then it's been holding the 21 exponential moving average, the yellow line here, for majority of the time. Had a quarter here, but again, it didn't really fully represent the potential of what was happening in the full effect of the stay-at-home economy, and then the multiple of people having to stay home, because the market basically really didn't close until a lot here in the United States until the mid of March, and then you see that huge kick up, basically a slam dunk into 165, and then kind of trading sideways, people being like, whoa, is this really going to stick around? Is this really happening? Again, basically hitting a near-term high at the date where the market hit an all-time low, because people were finding to try to get money switched around and moving money around and so forth. That being said, came kind of crashing down due to the overall market switch, and potentially not having to use Zoom for some time. The indications of breaking through the 21 were pretty strong, but the 8 exponential moving average really didn't break through it and cut through it. It just kind of made a V-shaped bottom and then continued for an even higher push to the all-time high of a 181.5, and then kind of coming back down, looking for a potential V-shaped bottom again, potentially testing this, and then could be trading sideways or be coming off a little bit due to earnings around the corner, being a huge question mark moving forward here. Again, this is going to be happening on June 2nd. They state right here after market close, I believe that's a Tuesday, to potentially see what the growth has been for Zoom, what the CEO, what the company is going to be saying about potential following quarters, and how much users, and do they see a trend continuing for people to use Zoom communications for schools and so forth. That being said, let's do some little bit of analysis here. Again, we see that the 21 is a pretty big play here for a lot of downward momentum. Oh, excuse me. I just had a peanut butter bar. So we're going to do an at or below here at the 21. So it's gonna be around $155. We talked about in the previous video about a head and shoulders. So this was the first shoulder, that was the head, here was the neckline, but it's kind of breaking out above the neckline and it's kind of upward trending. We would need to see this kind of come off the next couple days or a week. But again, with this huge target down here, this is going to be a pretty big surprise up or down. And then potentially looking at hitting its all-time high. So we're just going to do that here. Again, a lot of momentum is going to need to be happening for that to kind of be ratcheted higher. That being said, we can look at some other fib retracements here. We're going to go swing high to swing low. We're going to do 194. I think that's going to be a fairly interesting number due to the fact of probably earnings. We're going to look at what earnings are going to be happening. So we're going to look here at the trade tab. And again, it was going to be June 2nd. So this is the one that's going to be in the bracket. So they're saying pretty high implied volatility, well over 100, which is really high. So we're looking at $34 plus or minus. So $34 up or down. So $34 from here is basically it's going to be over 200. So looking at $200 to 210, most likely 210. That's going to be a significant move higher. But again, we are 2 weeks away. Anything can happen. So we're actually going to move this up to the marker around the 208 level here. And then we're going to do the minus aspect of where we're currently sitting at. So we're going to be looking at around 140-ish. So we're looking right about here potentially. So we're going to do an alert here. And I'm going to come back in here and make comments on this. So that kind of shows somewhat support here. Looking at the support at the 50-day. So this is the 50 simple moving average I like to use here. This is the little dotted teal line here, or dotted red line here, and it has seen support here before. Even in its last earnings call, it kind of popped off, came down to 21, but it really didn't break below the 21. So this could be potentially happening. Again, the economy stuff is still opening up, a lot of things like that. The overall momentum is super high on this. This is going to be a heck of a mover. There's going to be a lot of people in the stock, a lot of people. You can see here a lot of volume on that super high of the day. You see a huge sell-off. So potentially this whole move right here, that people who didn't get out at this level, and there's a couple gap downs, if we hit this level, we could easily come down to the 21 level if people want to get out. Potentially with the parabolic SAR, the purple dots here have been trying to push it up higher. So the momentum and everything is also on the side. We just need the overall market to kind of help it push higher. So that being said, that's my analysis here currently on ZM. On the weekly chart, you can't really see too much here. It's just been holding the 5 and the 8 exponential moving average quite substantially. Looking for some ongoing strength. So let's go ahead and look at two or three of the airline stocks. Let's look at Love. So that's Southwest. And this is, again, at an all-time low on Thursday, just the trading of last week. It's just not performing very well. So this is going to be between the 8 and the 5. These are both the exponential moving averages, and it's been trading below it. And that's never a really good sign. It's having a lot of trouble breaking above the 21. You can kind of see here it failed here, and it's kind of still trending lower due to the looming question of what the hell is going on. Are we going to be able to fill capacity, and what we have to charge for the people to fly the airlines? On the weekly chart, it just does not look very satisfying, basically hitting a low that we were trading back in like early 2014. And with a lot of people who are dividend investors are buying this, but I think they removed their dividend as well. We'll look at two more. Actually, let's look at Delta. This looks just like it if you put this on top of each other. So with the overall section just being really not performing really well. You kind of see Delta try to pop above the 21, but it failed, and now it's kind of come crashing down just like Southwest. We can look here at United as well, kind of did the same pattern here, trying to break above the 21 with some good news, but just continually kind of sinking lower. If you don't want to buy an individual company within the airline industry, it's probably best to be diversified and just buy the JETS ETF. So this is basically they own majority, they don't own majority stakes, but they look at, this is basically betting on the whole group rather than just on one company, kind of diversifying your bets. Again, this performs just like majority of them we just saw, well below the 21, and then it's still below the 8 and 5 exponential moving average, with momentum and everything just being negative and not seeing any sign of life. All right, that being said, I know that's kind of negative. I love the airline stocks I used to. It's just going to be a different change in time. With ZM again, be very careful out there. This thing moves really fast and sharp, very high volatility. It's going to have a lot of premium in it until earnings come out, because this is the big looming question mark before anything big happens. So just be super careful out there. Risk not too much. Risk maybe again 2 or 3% of your portfolio. Be very careful out there, and happy trading, guys. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. And if you're interested, we have a wonderful free Dyslexic Investor Club. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool, right? We have memes, we have options tradings, we have different trading fun stuff going on there. We got some live stuff going on there. We got some live updates. We send up some announcements. And if you want to help support the channel, we also have a Patreon where you can kind of get some exclusive videos and some my watch list and some indicators that I'll be posting up there and so forth. So especially stay tuned for that. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace!